Hi, we're taking the basic articles of the Convention on the Rights of the Child today. Article 5. Article 5 reads: The state must respect the rights and responsibilities of parents to provide guidance for the child that is appropriate to her or his evolving capacities. Article 5 reads: The state must respect the rights and responsibilities of parents to provide guidance for the child that is appropriate to her or his evolving capacities. What you try to teach to a suckling child is not the same thing that you would teach to a toddler. It's not also the same thing that is taught to a primary 6 child. They may have maybe the same words that I have read them now, but by the time we begin to look at the rules, regulations, the guidelines, the principles, the pros, the cons, we will now be dealing with some details that a child that is a toddler does not need. I once gave an example with things fall apart. The way you teach things fall apart to a JS3 child is not the same way that you will teach things fall apart by Chinua Achebe to a child to a student in the university, say third year or final year. So, talking about the state respecting the rights and responsibilities of parents to provide guidance. These parents are the first teachers, the first custodians, the first name nurses, cooks, the basic assistance we give to them as children. So most of their character or behavior, attitude, routines are basically first encountered at home. So these parents have the right, yes, to form their children, but the state must respect the rights and responsibilities of parents to provide guidance for the child is a very, very serious, concept, because we know what's happening and what's been happening around the world. But it's good for us to remember and to remind ourselves, both states and family, parents, custodians, and caregivers, the fact that the state owes the family, the respect of the rights and responsibilities of these parents providing guidance for their children that is appropriate. The underlying word, that word, we should underline it. That is appropriate to her or his evolving capacities. It's like looking at a primary 3, 4 year old child. That should be about between ages 7 to 9, getting pregnant and putting to bed. The body is the main thing to consider here. Preparedness. Is the body prepared for that task? Is the body prepared for the task of conception and delivery on the part of the child? Because it could be an adult or an adolescent that has put that child in the family way. You may say yes, since the body's child could produce the girl's child, the girl child could produce the egg. That might be the first menstruation, might not even have menstruated and would get pregnant with the first, because there's been some pedophile somewhere, abusing the child or having some kind of carnal knowledge of the child. I remember that there's what is called statutory rape. So if the parents of such a child decides now to cry out, if the parents of such a child decides to cry out, it is the state to support and stand by such a parent for the good and the respect, for the safety of that child, for the protection of that child. Now, responsibilities of parents to provide guidance for the child that is appropriate to her or to him is based on what? The evolving capacities of the child. In the home, there are some children that are special education needs children, while some are whiz kids. These parents know who is who among their children. They know what kind of, probably may not be experts, but have an idea that this child absorbs faster than this other child. This child learns faster than this other one, while this one is better in domestic work than this, and so on. So because they are the basic supplier of what they need, as well as the first set of people that experience the child's development, they are able to tell what and what is appropriate for their children. And then the law itself is there to also put down what and what is appropriate for the child according to his evolving capacities. So as we're talking about this appropriateness, it has to be according to the evolving capacities of the children. At that point, it becomes the parent's right to make sure that these children are safe and are doing things that they can they can bear, or they can learn, or they can carry out. We do not come up with situations whereby parents are shoved aside. In the first place, we are told that the parents should register the children. The child has a right to identity. The child has to be sheltered. The child has to be cared for, fed, clothed, and all that. Then, when the parents now come up to say, we have the right, and you, the state, must respect our rights and responsibilities of our children to provide guidance for the child, you come up with a disconnect and say, at this point, they do not have a right, to provide guidance for the child, and that is your own probably law, rule, or whatever you are putting up that is not appropriate, that is not according to the child's evolving capacities, will now be superimposed on the child and the parents. The children may even decide to dance to the tune of the state because probably they feel there's some form of, call it satisfaction or pleasure that is coming from it. But they have not thought it through to know the harm it's causing them until the damage is done. At that point again, they are abandoned and left with their parents to face the calamity or whatever befalls them. Therefore, let us take this seriously and always take note that the state must respect the rights and responsibilities of parents to provide guidance for the children that is appropriate to her or his evolving capacities. Thank you. Share this, please. And as you share, subscribe, like. See you at the next video. Tune in, please, and spread this information. Bye-bye.